Hi everyone, what a day we have for Indian chess today. We have a new India number one. It's amazing and it's none other than Vidit Gujrathi. Wow. Why is it so special? Because Vidit has been at the top of Indian chess in 2700 plus zone for now about 6 years. For more than 6 years he's been there, and finally he's made this breakthrough. Of course, last few months have been a lot of breakthroughs for him, but this one is special because with this win, not only did he become India number one, he also uh, he also crossed 2750 and also became the leader of Tata Steel Chess. So let me just show you what all has happened. So firstly, this is the this is the live rating list right now. You can see Magnus Carlsen there at the top. One second, is Magnus? Yes, there he is. Magnus Carlsen at the top with 2830, but Vidit is now world number 10 with 2751.5. He surpassed Vishy Anand, who is on 2748, Prag, who is on 2747. Not only that, Vidit has played this Tata Steel beautifully, unbeaten until now, with 3 wins against Firuza, Nodirbek, and Maksudlu. All very strong players, which is brilliant. And now I'll also talk about what will happen in the final round and the scenarios, who will lead, what are the possibilities in a bit. But just to show you that how Vidit has managed to break through um, this kind of barrier, because if you look at 2017 is when he crossed, September 2017 is when he crossed 2700. To reach 2750 took him close to 6.5 years. That just shows the amount of effort that he has put in to sort of become one of the best in the world. uh, let's go to the game and then we'll talk more about the standings and everything else. So Vidit is playing with white. Also, if you would like to see this game on Chess Ranga, where you want to uh, make a move on the board where I ask questions, please do so. The link is in the description. So Vidit opens the game with d4. Uh, Nodirbek plays knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5. We have the queen's gambit declined, which converts into Ragozin. e3 is played. Now Vidit himself plays a lot of Ragozin with black, so it's always interesting to see what his new ideas will be. Castles, bishop comes out to d2, b6. In fact, the opening has been converted into bishop d2 Nimzo Indian. Like if I go here, knight c3, bishop b4, e3, castles, knight f3, d5, bishop d2, b6, we reach the same position. So b6 with it takes. And it's logical because when the bishop comes here on this diagonal, it wants to take this pawn. Like for example, here it wants to take on c4 at the right time and get this bishop here. So after take, now the bishop would be kind of blocked on this diagonal. Rook c1, bishop went back to e7. In fact, this move bishop e7 is not the most common move. The most common move is bishop b7. But okay, bishop e7 has been played before. Vidit himself has played it with black against blue baum. And here Vidit thought for like a lot of time, 27 minutes, and played the move g3. This is actually an idea which has only been played once before in a correspondence game. No, wait a second. I'll just let you know if it was a correspondence game. Yes, between Wilman and Kazimierski Tomasz. So this was a correspondence game. Again, Vidit may have prepared this before trying to recollect it. Knight came to d7 and he played his bishop to g2. Now, one of the great things about this bishop here is that it keeps putting pressure on this diagonal, which is very nice. You put your knight here, then with the knight and bishop, you're putting pressure on that d5 point. But one of the drawbacks is that now this diagonal is open. And so Nodirbek comes here and tells Vidit, you can't castle. Vidit attacks the bishop. And at this point, Nodirbek should have just dropped his bishop back. Vidit would have castled, and Nodirbek could have continued maybe with something like c6. Position is interesting, complex out of the opening. He played a mistake. He played bishop c4. And now is your first question in this game. What do you play here as white? White to play. So here, if you are not very careful, next move coming up is c5, and then black starts to get things rolling. So you need to be careful about this. Black is better developed, your king is in the center, and with it finds this very good move b3. Now there's nothing particularly special about this. Many of you would have found it, but Nodirbek's idea was that now this square on a3 is a bit soft and his bishop can come there, but now the bishop is losing squares. It can't go back, so it has to come here. And now once again, I would like you to pause the video and figure out what would you do here as white to play. Yes, this is a key move here, a very important one. Knight to e5. With this move, you are attacking the bishop again, also threatening to jump here with the knight. So Nodirbek's move is kind of forced to take. This was what he wanted to do. And then pawn takes. And now, of course, if you play your knight back here, I will take this knight d5. If you take on e5, I have like many possible moves. The c7 pawn is weak. Queen can come here attacking this and this. It's a dangerous position. In fact, white would be better here. But in the game, Nodirbek came forward with knight e4, and this was his plan. So once again, my question to you, what do you play here with white? Yeah, this is an important moment, because if you got tempted by the winning of a pawn, then I think you are in big trouble here, because black has b5. And you lose a piece, there is no way for the queen to keep control of this bishop. You are lost. So don't get tempted for that. The move here was queen d4. Fantastic move, attacking this bishop. The bishop is running out of squares. If you take here, which happened in the game, bishop c3. Now bishop is hanging, pawn is hanging. If you take on d2, I will take on d3. Now the knight is attacked, d5, pawn is under pressure. Bad position. And if you go back here, then I can take, pawn takes, take, and take on c7. This is hanging, this is hanging, this is hanging, too much is hanging, and Nodirbek is in trouble. So he took here, and by the way, queen d4 could be a move that he missed, because if not for this move, black is fine. Knight c3, pawn, bishop takes, bishop went back, and now Vidit chopped the pawn, and this is where he became a pawn up. Now this is one part of the story, pawn up position, but it's not easy. These are double pawns, black has a majority, and now Nodirbek plays in his tricky fashion, pawn to c6. If you take, he wants to go rook c8. If you come back, he wants to play maybe bishop a3. This is where, the b3 move, forcing it, comes into the picture. Rook d1, kind of forced, queen c7. With this coming here, it will get a little nasty. So Vidit was very, very alert to this, and he brought his bishop back to g2. Queen c8, doesn't want to trade queens, and now Vidit pushes his pawn, threatening mate in 1. If you play your bishop here, I take, and in a way, I'm now clean pawn up, because my double pawns are gone. So Nodirbek once again plays a move that is tricky. Vidit could keep the queens with queen c4 and keep an advantage. He played queen d7, which is also nice. Bishop a3, good move. Rook came here, and now bishop f5. So he's attacking this pawn. Not easy to defend, but Vidit now converts it into a clean extra pawn. Bishop takes, and again, I like this way in which with it continued take and pins the queen, and we reach a very, very clean extra pawn. You know, this is an extra pawn. I would really advise you to look carefully on how Vidit converts this. This has also been one of Vidit's strong points recently and weak points before, conversion of an advantage. And we should see how he manages. First, rook c8, king comes up, defends the bishop. Rook c7, king comes up, rook c8, and now the bishop comes here. So he's put his bishop here nicely. King is safe, so there are no checks. And if rook c2 is played, there is this very nice little move, check. Once you trade one pair of rooks, the danger to the white king is gone. White's advantage grows. So king f7, rook d1, king e6, e4. Slowly mobilizing your majority. Rook c2, offering a trade. He doesn't want to trade. f4, bishop attacks the rook. f5, king goes back, and now rook e2. He gives a check, king comes to the side, and now he plays here. Important to note that there are these troubles with bishop takes pawn and rook hanging. So rook coming here defends the rook. And now the next move is very nice because you're making progress as white. You can try to think, what would you do? How to make progress? e5. Because now you will see with this move, you want to trade, check, king here, and now you have this majority this on the king side, which is getting stronger and stronger. Black has lesser play. g4, rook e6, putting the rook on a good square. Bishop is centralized, and also now this sequence is very big improvement in with it, because earlier he would be a little afraid of certain checks and stuff, you know, like check. Now this would hang, but hey, to be concrete, this is hanging for now. The rook goes back, and now bishop g3. Bishop went back, and now he played rook c6, bishop c5, g5, king f8, and now the final inaccuracy here. By the way, rook e7 was better. King f8 was the final inaccuracy. Here white is still, of course, better, but now what do you do to finish off the game? White to play g6, just creating a mating net against the black king, because now this pawn takes away this square. The dark square is sort of taken here. A check on the back rank would mean almost mate. Rook goes back, king f5, and now Vidit finds this very nice idea of putting his king on the side of the board where there are no checks, defending this pawn so that the rook can be freed up. Also now threatening bishop takes pawn, so the rook is hanging. So bishop goes back, threatening this deadly check. So h4, rook h1, threatening mate. Bishop goes back, and now rook e6. Very nice play. Bishop c5, bishop c7, and he improved his king, but once again in a bit he put it back there. Very important now is to trade one pair of rooks, and this Vidit manages to do very nicely. You know, he understands this thing that there is a trade required. I was expecting Nodirbek to play king f8, not allowing this check, but he went rook f8. I believe, I'm not really sure what his idea was. Maybe rook g2, trying to attack a2. So Vidit first stops even that, and now trades the rook. Very, very precise play. Takes, rook c2, bishop blocks it, king comes out. Now the king wants to enter the battle, so king comes in, king e8, rook e2, and rook comes up, rook d5. Fantastic chess here, threatening a mate. This is beautiful. Check, king f5, and this is where Nodirbek resigned, because if he gave another check, king goes back. Now check, king here, and this is winning, because if you go to e8, there is rook e5. If you go to g8, bishop is hanging. And otherwise, if he would have played directly bishop e7, again a check, and everything gets traded with a winning king and pawn endgame. So with this, Vidit manages to win the game, and huge result for him in his career, I would say this. Also, if we look at now the standings of the tournament, we will see that Vidit is leading along with Anish, Gukesh, Abdusattorov, Wei Yi. And Vidit and Wei Yi play in the last round. These are the pairings of the last round. Maksudlu Gukesh, Nodirbek Donchenko, Wei Yi Vidit, Anish Warmerdam. It seems like Anish's chances look the best as he has white with Warmerdam, which is very cool. But there are also tie breaks. All those who finish at the same score at the top, these are all tie break rules, huge rules. But the gist of it is that all those who finish at the top will be involved in a playoff. If there are 5 players, there will be playoff between 5. If there are 4, there will be playoff between 4, and so on. So today will be very exciting. Do join us. And for now, massive congratulations to Vidit for becoming India #1. Also, it's my 34th birthday, so that makes it extra special. Thank you.